I got 99 podcasts, but a Schmower dove ain't one. This is the Imperial Skulls of Honor podcast. I am Josh Folan.
And I am Jay Baxtron.
And we are going to be bullshitting about the formative years of console gaming as we revisit the periodicals that covered it again. I got 99 podcasts, but a Schmower dove ain't one. It's a celebration, bitches! Eating our way through GamePro issue 19 here in our 99th main quest episode. That's just one shy of 100 for all you math whizzes out there. And a link is in the show notes to the issue, as it always is. Please rate and review the podcast if any of these last 98, maybe 99 if you count this one, episodes got your biscuits burning. If you post it, we will read it here. Give us validation and self-worth, or ridicule us, as long as it is also funny.
I do love biscuits.
Yes.
Are delicious.
Yes. Jay, what are you jamming on now?
Dude,
let's talk about that.
Immortals of Avium. Have you heard of this game? Have you seen it? Have you heard of it? Oh.
Nope.
So, whenever I play a role-playing game where you get to pick a class, I always choose the magical class or the mage. I always want to rain destruction down on my enemies from my hands or from a staff rather than a sword. Like, that's my initial playthrough. So this game pretty much allows you to do that. Like, there's a storyline around magic. I don't want to give it away, but you pretty much inherit these magical powers, and the story is great. The gameplay is great. I spent the last 2 weeks playing this game. I just completed it. It was great. It was satisfying. Like, most of all, the combat is so good. Like, it's first person.
2 weeks? You can complete it in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I played it in the last 2 weeks for sure. There are definitely things I can still do. It's definitely far and away not 100% by any means. There are like 7 different, what are they called? Like mage wizards. I don't even know what they're called, but they're essentially like the mega bosses that I tried to do during my playthrough and just got like mopped up, which was confusing. But now, like, as I got towards the end of the game, I actually started getting legendary gear, which was not a thing in my mind. Like in a lot of other games where you're just like loot boxing, you can see that progression. This wasn't really like that to me. Like you definitely have a skill tree, you definitely progress. And it was a lot of fun to do that, but it's very simple. Like even when you go around the world, it doesn't have so many power babies that you're going around chasing. You know, you're like,
Power Babies.
I got to get like 4.
Why haven't they made a sequel to that? Where is the Power Baby sequel?
Exactly. You got to get them all, man. Whether they're like, you got to get all the scrolls and all the loot box chests. And no. It's nothing like that. It's very simple. So I didn't really feel like I was like chasing loot at all. I was really just exploring the world, enjoying the story, and really enjoying the combat. So it's funny because like this game is on Game Pass, and when I heard it was being released, it looked good, so I wanted to check it out. And when I started looking it up and trying to see what other people thought about it, I found out that like it's received mixed reviews and sold poorly, and it led to the studio laying off almost half their staff, which blows my mind. Because like if any part of you likes being magical and playing in a first person, like this is a great story and great gameplay. Like I don't know what people are expecting nowadays, but this game was freaking great. Freaking great. That's all I have to say.
It's marketing, dude. Fucking, I hear, that name it's like, I'm trying to think of a good comp to this. Like some of those, it's like an RPG now, like The Immortal at the time in 1990 on the NES, different story. Now, though, there's been so many fucking games with so much shit, I don't know, so many different titles floating around in people's heads and stuff. I hear The Immortals, and to me, I think of those Zezzy, ZZ, Zaza, like all those sci-fi games. It's just like, how can I possibly differentiate that in my mind from anything else?
That may be fair. Because this was a blast, man. This is This is great. Like, definitely an awesome find. Like, in Game Pass, like, boosts that value for sure. Other than that, man, I mean, that's really, like I said, that's really all I have had.
I guess we beat it in 2 weeks. What else do you have time to play?
Yeah, like that's pretty much it. It's sprinkling in a little COD. Like, obviously, I haven't really been putting that much time into this new season, but like, there's new loot in the zombie mode. Like, I like that, but I don't really know. The funny thing is, that's my one knock against Call of Duty right now, and I'm excited for like the new Black Ops coming out. But my only knock on the zombie mode is that like you have to look up in guides to figure out like what is happening. Like, I'm not sure. Like, they're adding all this cool stuff, but I'm not really sure how to get it. Like, I can't really find in the game how to get it. I gotta go look elsewhere, which is frustrating, but the game is still a blast. So still enjoy sprinkling that in from time to time. And a little brotato when I just need like some zone out time. You know, a brotato is still nice.
They need to issue some fucking companion literature, some official companion literature, a strategy guide or something.
Yeah, maybe I'm not looking hard enough.
Lost art. Yeah, I'm sure there's there's no question someone is out there doing some kind of chronicling of every fucking corner of the game.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, whenever because obviously that's a multiplayer thing, so when I'm playing with my buddies from back in Ohio, like they're sending me links to what people find, so people are putting it together. But especially with the newer stuff, it's kind of like, all right, we haven't really found it yet, you know, like we're still working on it until it gets found, but it's still good to go.
Okay, that's it,
man. I'm looking at you, and I don't even know what I'm looking at in the background. So explain to me what is
that's
happening?
A doozy back there. Before that, all the talk about it, I feel it warrants a little bit of gravitas in this delivery, but I did it. I bested Set, Loki, and I returned peace to Egypt. Woo! Asgard's Wrath 2 is now behind me. Woe is me.
Nice.
Nice. But it is a great game. I have nothing negative to say about it, really. The end was interesting and tough, and like they, you know, I've played the first one too, and I think they really, you know, you get a sequel. Like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna up the ante? How are you gonna whatever? And like, I think the end battle with Loki, no question, had like a bigger fucking. The Loki squab was like a very epic thing that they did quite well. It's still they like I technically did it. Like, I died a few times, but they don't. You know, they like it's what those deaths where they just like the fucking modern shit where you just restart and do that thing over. And it's like. Yep. Why bother even have it then? Like, why not just make that a movie? Like, I'm just gonna get to I just got to hit 3 buttons and this whatever? Like, why the fuck even make me do it then? You know, I don't know. Again, there's no way to be truly happy as a modern gamer, I don't think. But overall, just the epic feeling of it, the presentation of it, and everything was fucking great and huge.
Nice.
And so that's like the one player thing. I finished the track and. You know, I talked about, like, I don't think I can go back. My buddy Bung said you can't go back and do the completionist stuff. So, like, the game ends, and I'm like, okay, what's going to happen now? And they just drop you back in, like, this netherworld area where you started all the time throughout the game, you know, and then you could, like, either teleport to the area that you were working on, or there's like a portal thing that you can kind of walk through that just like takes you to the beginning of it, I think. Or there was this dungeon, I think I talked about at some point, that it's like a roguelite mode that you just go through this dungeon and through level after level until you get murked, you know. I've never engaged that. I don't really enjoy it. I tried it a few times. And like, you know, I don't know. It does have, you're getting perma upgrades to some degree that you can apply both in that world or in that mode and the one player thing in some way. But it just, to me, it was just tedious bullshit. So I never really got into it. But you can still do that. So the game does not like over necessarily. And they're doing, you know, all the usual shit. I don't really engage it, so I'm not paying attention. But it's like, seasons or monthly things where like you like pick a side. They probably are all like this, but you pick a side, either chaos or fucking order or whatever, and everyone's total tallies add up. Yep. And if you're with the winning side, you get extra spoils or whatever, and then you have like fucking like mini tasks that you can do. I think both in the roguelite and the normal world, and those add up to also contribute to that. Yada yada. So there's all this fucking multiplayer competitive score tallying shit that you can keep doing. And also, and I don't know if this has changed since Will finished the game, but I can still go back to the one-player game, and they've assigned all these new bullshit fetch quests that have no, there's like the minorest type of quest. They've made a bunch of new ones. Go catch fucking 6 fish. Go fucking kill whatever of these things, So you can still fuck around in that world and kind of be accomplishing shit that you get rewarded for in some meaningless way. And I didn't even get, I didn't completionist all the fucking upgrades and stuff. So if I want, my whole point being, my huge worry about not being able to go back and completionist the fucking game once I beat it was all for naught, because you can. So I don't know if I feel any incentive to, but the option is available to me. So all that time I spent just like putting off finishing the game for that reason was unnecessary. Yeah, so
it is done.
But it is checked. Like you said, the backlog thing is done, so that's nice. It means I need a new fucking epic VR quest now, open world type thing. I'm not sure what to do. Assassin's Creed's there, but that's not really open world by my understanding. It's really kind of like mission by mission type shit. I'm sure there's some hub thing, but it's not really like an open world game for sure. I'm rather certain of that. So I don't think that was gonna be a good enough fix for it. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm on the hunt for that chicken noodle soup for the soul, for my soul. Anyways, still.
Good luck, sir.
Yeah, thank you. And I am still playing Blacktop VR, Blacktop Hoops VR here and there. I finished the story mode at the scrub difficulty level, so I saw the ending of that. Pretty cool, pretty good story mode for a basketball game, I think, especially a VR one. And I've played a few multiplayer matches now, some 2-on-2 and shit, and I mean, it's awesome, but it is so dangerous. I got to fucking figure out some logistics here, because it is just, like, I talked about how, maybe I already said this too, I had played maybe a little bit of multi last time, a couple of them. Like, you can separate. In the one-player thing, the AI, at least the scrub level AI, is bad enough where you can kind of like stay cognizant of your place in the real world. That dual thing I talk about, you can kind of stay every now and again, peek out, make sure you're not fucking up against a mirror you're gonna break or something, and try to keep your feet rooted and only use the controllers to do your movement and turning. But in multiplayer, especially 2-on-2, dude, like, it's impossible. It's impossible not to turn. It's just and lose your bearings. And yeah, there's just no way to do it safely in a constrained space of any kind. It is so fucking hard, but it is such a well done experience, I think. So like, I just got to figure out some way to be able to safely play it, because it's so fucking good. But all that to say, like, I have not played it as much as I want to. Like, I think about playing it and I'm like, I don't have a solution. What am I going to do? Like, I got to move this table. Like, that's a lot of work. It's frustrating. So frustrating, because it would be so much fun to really get into routinely. I mean, I think I said last time too, but I'm keeping like a sweat rag next to my thing now. Because
I would imagine you'd have to.
Like, yeah, when you play it, there's if you just let that dry after you're done, it'll be gross as fuck. But next time you pick it up,
anytime I played Beat Saber, I've like thought about bringing that in, and so I can only imagine playing basketball. Oh,
yeah,
dude, no way.
It's so good though, dude. It's so fucking, and there's definitely kids and shit playing fucking that game. So you can tell you're playing like a 9-year-old, and he's just like dribbling around you and shit and talking shit. It's like, there's just no way not to have that. There's no filtering or anything. So like,
oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it is like, bouncing
so
fucking
crushing.
the ball. Yeah, he's just bouncing the ball off the fucking backboard. You're like, looking around. It's like fucking like it's like a toddler playing his dad, so fucking
that's hilarious.
hilarious, but frustrating nonetheless. We got a bit of Demio in, you and I. Came up just a C hair short on the Rat King.
I couldn't believe
sad emojis about that. And so yes, the one behind me started playing a new point and click with Amy. It's called Paradigm. Found it on Steam. We got a hair up our ass, and we're like, oh, we don't have anything we're like really questing on. Let's find a new point and click, and did some Googling. This is just one of the ones that popped we kept seeing in Reddit threads and stuff. And I think I watched a trailer, and pretty much the deal stealer was the main guy has a mutant pug that drinks vodka. It's just one example of like the tonality, Yeah. So I was like, this looks pretty fun. Let's check this out. And yeah, I'd say it's kind of a mashup of Space Quest and Maniac Mansion. So like,
interesting.
This comedy focused tone with like some sci-fi stuff going on. It's on this planet. As you can see, the guy next to me is like, what is he? I don't know.
I don't even know what's happening.
Right, yeah. He's got some code. I'm trying to think. I'm not even sure within the game world what they like. I'm trying to think there's like a race name or if he's some kind of mutant. I can't recall exactly what the story is for why, he looks like he does. But yeah, it's super fun. It also has like on top of that like kind of just very sarcastic comedic tone. The aesthetic of it is like this. I don't want to go all the way to say Fallout, but kind of like that clunky technology thing going on. He has a computer, but it's an older computer. You're talking about discs, and like he's like interacting with this really kind of sloppy AI, in a lot of cases, and it's just it's really, really well written. And there's this training video that they show you, and it's like got VHS aesthetics to it, just all the stuff I'm a sucker for sure, Yeah. So it's really well done, and I mean it's on sale. I think the price is supposed to be $15, but I think we got it on sale for way less than that. So if you're hunting for a point and click, Jay, I'm sure you are. Maybe take a look at that one on Steam.
Right. Yeah, no.
And the last thing, it's not game related, but I just started it last night. And I wanted to ask you. Amy and I talked about it extensively. Have you read Hatchet? Did you read Hatchet as a kid? By Gary Paulson?
That sounds familiar, but I couldn't.
The kid is on a flight, like a little fucking prop plane flight. He's like 13, and the pilot has a heart attack, and the kid has to crash land the plane into a fucking lake or something, and then he has to survive on an island by himself.
No, that does not sound familiar.
That does not ring a bell. It was probably my favorite book as a kid, I think. At least like in that age bracket. In high school, there were some books I liked more. Like Native Son, fucking, I love Catcher in the Rye, of course, fucking books like that. Lord of the Flies was good, I thought. Some of those like staple, childhood fucking public school curriculum books. But yeah, of the ones of like, grade school, this was probably the one I remember most and liked the most. And I was surprised. I was shocked that Amy said she read it, actually. But yeah, it's I started reading it last night, and dude, I mean, it's written for fucking fifth graders, dude. And like, I mean, I read 15% of it in like a half hour probably. So it's not like, it's not like reading some epic novel or anything, but plenty well written and fucking good. And yeah, I don't think I've read it since I was like, I don't know, fucking 11 or something. I finished a book that I was rereading for work stuff, this fucking nonfiction thing. And I was like, I need something that's like just the polar end of the spectrum as my next book. And like this, I had it in my little Goodreads to read pile for a long time. So I was like, fucking, yeah. So I was just curious if you read that too. Cause yeah, it's a fucking, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if you look at like, I didn't know any of this. I thought it was just a random thing. Like I said, I was surprised Amy read it, but like you'd be looking at the fucking, I go to buy it on Amazon and it's like 4.5 million copies sold. There's like 8 billion spin-off books the guy's written. It's a huge fucking deal, apparently. And yeah, probably a pretty big staple of a lot of curriculum. So thought it was nostalgia minded and worth mentioning here to see if you checked it out.
I had not checked that out, but you playing with Amy actually reminded me about something. So Courtney and I have actually also played since our last session. It Takes Two. Have you heard of this game?
I feel like I have heard of it, but I'm not sure.
It's a co-op action adventure like platformer, but it's like it's fun and whimsical, but it's serious content. Like this kid, like essentially this kid, her parents are going through a divorce, and so she's like trying to hopes they get back together, but she's kind of like at the same time disassociating and like somehow magically like the parents become these dolls and like they're forced to go on this like split screen co-op adventure. So it's like this serious thing that's happening with serious dialogue, but and the game you have to play like it's co-op. You have to play cooperatively to figure out.
Sounds like those Unraveled games that I played. I think that's what they were called, where you're like the little thread figurines.
Oh yeah,
and you're like connected by thread, and you got to like work together to solve puzzles and stuff. Yep.
So it's so good, man, so good. Like that's our current game to play together. So I'll check that out if you hadn't.
It Takes Two. Yeah, I've definitely heard that name before.
Yeah,
that's a
EA game.
Unlike the Immortals, that's a very memorable name.
Man stage from the one, the only Mega Man 3, bringing us into this hotness with this weird ass cover. What are we talking about?
February 91, $3.95 US, $4.95 Canadian, $2.50 UK. CD-ROM games! Once you get your hands on these babies, there's no going back. And the artwork, yes, reminds me of the issue cover they did a while back, issue 5. With the close-up of the kid in full-on tweak mode panic attack. It has the same style vibes to it, you know?
Yes.
It is a CD game system of some kind with the CD hatch wide open. A CD has been launched from it and is spawning a ramp out towards our POV. And there are various video game characters growing up and out of it along the way and running up towards us. The guy leading the way is, I guess, maybe Mega Man inspired. Be my best guess. I didn't think that. Yeah, I didn't think that. But after posting the cover, some of the Lord disciples suggested that's what it was, and I was like, okay, I can see why. The reason someone would think that for sure, but it is not a good rendition of Mega Man, of course. No, even like a bootleg one, it's just not.
No.
Whatever. Yeah, one of our Instagram followers was like, why is every Mega Man portrayal of this era so horrifically bad? You know, obviously harking to the poor first box cover art on the first game. Even the second one still a little goofy, I think. Anyways, there's him up front, and then a purple-skinned, sword-brandishing fantasy warrior type, and a nunchuckus-wielding ninja flanking him, and then a baseball player and a metallic-colored, marshmallow-headed, maybe yet to be fully formed thing next to him that are just starting to spawn from the CD back by the game system. And there are a lot of cool colors going on, pink and some yellow highlights on the CD ramp deal. And I would say, along with the Dr. Mario Nintendo Power cover and also the Star Tropics Nintendo Power cover, I think we might have to call the best color for an early 90s video game mag pink. I think that is the most, like, I don't know, eye-catching
it's neon,
background color.
Brah.
Yeah, right, yeah. Sneak peek is the next headline. You get to see it first. Mega Man for the Game Boy. Then we have 18 pages of new game reviews, starting with Deja Vu. You up for some point-and-click goodness, Jay? Follow up Maniac Mansion with?
No, absolutely.
Magician, Gremlins 2, DJ Boy, Superstar Soldier, and Mickey Mouse. And there is no additional info given for the Mickey Mouse title. All you need, dear player, is his name. And the last bullet point is Japan's CD hit. Check out the amazing Valis 3. Moving inside the mag, we get a couple of great two-bangers to kick shit off. The dope-ass Devil's Crush T16 ad with the big golden fire eyes, and then the long battle-tested Atari Lynx spread. Mm-hmm. Then the usual look for the TOC, a new Taito ad for kicks, that flame-covered two-banger for SMS titles that we've seen a million times as well, and then finally the two-banger for our very last game at Maniac Mansion. And you said you were jamming on kicks pretty hard, yeah?
Dude, I played so much kicks. So much kicks, man. I don't know if I played this game as a kid or if I played some computer game variation of it, because that
was on every platform, yeah.
But yeah, I was sitting here playing, and at first I couldn't figure out. I was like, wait, what am I doing? And then when I realized what I was doing, I did so much of it, and I couldn't even tell you.
It's a good puzzle game. I actually did not fuck with it because I played Kicks. I know Kicks is good, so I was like, I don't need to do that with my time. But I hear you on it. It's a good game.
Well, in my mind, I think also the name caught my eye, but I didn't know what it was. I was thinking it was something else, so it threw me off when I first.
Clax is also obviously very close.
Yeah,
and another puzzle game, and on every system, and good. Then we get our By the Game Pros letter titled Calling All Game Pros, but they're just going all Hollywood here, regurgitating bullshit that nobody wants. This is the same letter as last month, trying to recruit their 250 game review slaves under the guise of a program they call the SWAT Squad.
Yeah.
Then the Win a Trip to Transylvania, that's never going to happen, Castlevania 3 ad from Konami gets us to the mail. First set of letters is from the two sides of a hot-button political issue of the time, putting ratings on video games for mature/violent content. And all but the last one are just obvious arguments for and against that everyone would probably assume and have read or heard about a million times. But the last is a suggestion that video game manufacturers would be wise to take the initiative to voluntarily put ratings on them before the government is pushed to step in and, take control of it by uptight parents. And that is, of course, precisely what the ESRB would be, the Entertainment Software Ratings Board. It wasn't an independent third party. It was founded by members of the industry, and it continues to be so, to my understanding. Like, doing my research, I'm not keeping up on the ESRB's fucking happenings with any level of attention these days. But in my light Googling, it seemed like it was like there had been no efforts to change that,
It is what it is now.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, that makes me wonder if this letter could have anything to do with that becoming the case. Like, if this was an inciting thing for anyone, GamePro is certainly a big enough magazine at the time that people in the industry are reading it and they're like, oh, that's a good fucking idea.
I'm sure. I'm sure people are reading it, especially what we know about the ownership of other magazines being tied to game companies. Like, I'm sure somebody was tasked with read and report back what you hear kind of situation.
Yeah, very true. The back half is all one letter, gloriously from Todd Proya of Bradford, Massachusetts.
Yay, violence.
And Todd must be in a technical field of some kind, and I'm surprised he doesn't. This isn't the game violence one. No, this one was a technical deal. I'm surprised he doesn't mention that he was in a technical field of some kind, because he's writing to correct the GamePro writers about their having botched explaining the difference between a byte and a bit. And as maybe pedantic as a correction would be about this, to write into a game magazine, put all that effort into it of the time. We talked to Maniac Mansion about what goes into mailing a letter in 1991. Not a small task. This could be frivolous, but I would say actually, to his credit, it is the best and most straightforward explanation I've ever read about it, I think. Like, he explains what I think most anyone who fucks with computers with any level of regularity or aptitude know, that there are 8 bits in a byte, sure. But the simple directive that he gives, that you should just divide any mention of bytes, a la a megabyte, by 8 to compute how many bits it has, is something I don't ever recall seeing, and I've never made this simple connection in my head to do. So we've always kind of like, I'm not sure exactly, bits, bytes, I don't know. Yeah. It's a super simple math problem, obviously, that we could have always just been doing, So these chest pounding 8 megabit carts that the Genesis talks about, they're 1 megabyte carts. Super simple. And I've never personally so simplistically thought of the math problem to get to that. So.
Right. Todd was schooling the mag.
Yeah, good on Todd, man. I can't fuck with Todd. Todds don't fuck around. Then we have a new Tension ad with a lot going on. Genesis T16 and NES carts and systems tiled across a bright red background. The greatest arcade hits belong to Tension. And you can order these bad boys direct over the phone, too. These forward-thinking Atarians really coming up with new ways to drive revenue. Hey. On top of just telling Nintendo to go fuck itself at the time. And there's a bunch going on here that we've covered, as with any Tension ad, but there are some new box covers I had to do some Googling on. RBI Baseball 3 is probably the most eye-catching for me, and that's pictured both next to the NES and the Genesis. And I couldn't find anything beyond 91 for the release date on NES, but the Genesis drop is in July. And so, like, I'm trying to, like, you know, I connect some dots. And historically, they've dropped in the summer or fall, the first two games, in all cases. Mm-hmm. So I think we can safely say the NES one also didn't hit till summer too, so we cannot deal with this till later, because we certainly will talk about it extensively when we do, because RBI is fucking great. And then Airball on NES looks intriguing and is a wizard casting some kind of spell, but this port of an arcade game I've never seen did never make it to store shelves, so it's not unlike the Police Academy title over to the right. So they're putting things on here that never made it out. And then Paperboy has a Genesis port that didn't hit till 91, and it somehow looks and plays worse than the SMS port by my measure. Did you try it?
Wait, which one? Paperboy?
Paperboy.
Yeah,
It's worse than SMS. How is that possible?
Yeah. I did try it, and I went and played the Genesis one, and that was way better. So
SMS one, I think you mean. This was the Genesis one. I think you mean the SMS one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's like some garbled voice samples that are new and not in that, you know, the Nintendo or SMS ones. But other than that, I didn't see a reason to play this one over SMS. It's like controlled very poorly.
I mean, also it's Paperboy. Like, I just checked it out, and I was just like, yep, this is, no.
Paperboy.
Yeah.
I like Paperboy. So I was hoping that it was an elevated presentation of it, but it was not, unfortunately. Road Blasters is a 91 Genesis drop also, and this is an arcade game I have seen before, but I don't really think much about when I do see it. And tried it out. It's a pretty fucking fun forced perspective racing game. Like, I enjoyed this. I played all the way through at least one race, I think, and, you know, you're like shooting shit. The racing controls are low attention requiring because there's like so much going on otherwise, so they don't expect a lot out of you out of the like fucking turns, you know. A lot of these force per second games in particular, the turns are always like you gotta do some braking and like a whole bunch of bullshit to do those the best way. This doesn't ask that of you because you have to shoot shit too. So it's, you have to not only have to shoot shit, but you also have to score fuel because you're running out of fuel. It's like kind of a Mad Maxy type environment where fuel is at a premium, I think, and yada yada. So yeah, I actually enjoyed this quite a bit.
I did a lot of crashing. It was interesting and intriguing. Like the controls were a little slippery, like, but like in a good way. Like I could feel like I could easily, you know, figure it out and be good at it. But I definitely did a lot of crashing. But this is a decent road game. It's a decent game for sure.
It's about Tengen Atari, you know. To see this list here.
Tengen's got some good stuff, man. You know, I mean, we got Gauntlet. Well, we'll get to Gauntlet too, but
right. Oh, yeah, no, actually, I guess I wrote down I played 4 or 5 levels before I turned it off, apparently.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I played the shit out of that. It does not have game ep chops, probably, but definitely, and probably belongs on our shit worth playing list, so I added it there. And there's also Hard Drive It on this Tengen ad. I've already talked about that. I'm not going to give it to you again, but weird game. Would be kind of fun. And then the Elite 2-banger for the Immortal on NES, speaking of Immortals, the OG Immortal, gets us to Cutting Edge, and they are caching their cover feature chips here, CD-ROM for gamers by The Wiz. Excuse me. Compact discs are blowing vinyl out of the water on the music scene. Since one CD holds 550 megabytes of digital data, will they make chips take a dip too? Hardcore gamers want to know. Although it's highly unlikely games will fully utilize that much programming space in the near future, you get the picture and more. Wiz then goes on through each of the 3 lead hardware manufacturers and what their compact disc sitch is. NEC has finally dropped their T16 CD add-on that's been rocking and rolling in Japan for some time. It's cool, but load times of 3 seconds are a real buzzkill, the Wiz says. Which, you know, fucking the PlayStation's not even obviously coming down the pipe. Like, the load times on some of the PlayStation games are like fucking an eon compared to that. So it's funny that he's bitching about that here. Sega has announced one is coming, but no dates for Japan or the US have been revealed. They do have some info on the case, how it will attach to the base console, and some specs though, and these are in line with the initial Sega CD model that we do get here in the US, so this was pretty good intel, I think.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Nintendo is described as being in a wait-and-see mode about this new fangledy CD stuff. And that was probably quite smart, as it would turn out.
Well, I don't know. We know what they did. I mean, with the whole going to partner with PlayStation and actually have a CD and then backing out at the last minute, so PlayStation entered in. So,
but they're just on, very much like the move. SNES. I think it's demonstrating some kind of a pattern, at least at this stage of the scene development, that they weren't going to jump into shit. They trusted. They probably looked at it like this is my obviously total hypothesis, but I think they would probably look at their software superiority and said, we don't have to try risky cutting edge tech things. We can just rely on our software and let these fucking people feel out the technology, and we can watch what happens and react to it, And I think that kind of is what they're doing.
I mean, they've been obviously successful, but I'm thinking like now looking backwards, like how big PlayStation became, like if there was some way that those ecosystems could have existed together and grown together as one entity, like it would have owned. It would have.
No, yeah, absolutely, no. But I mean, that's
so it's still looking
that's the next wave too, though, or the next generation rather. That's not even. Yeah. I guess I don't know the exact timeline of that. We'll of course learn that as we go here, but yeah, I don't know if that idea started. Probably that shit takes forever. Especially if you're talking like two huge companies like that trying to do something jointly, it's probably all sorts of fucking bullshit before it can get any sort of traction at all. So they probably did start it as like a 16-bit era, late 16-bit era answer, and obviously it not rolling out till the next generation was kind of that part of that taking more time because PlayStation goes, you know what, fuck this, and we're going to do it right on our own. So I can see that timeline kind of working, but either way, at this stage, they're definitely. It sounds like they're not even considering it. So that's
why would they right now at this point too?
Yeah. And honestly, honestly, you might even hypothesize also that the only reason that they do is because of what Sega is about to do. You know what I mean? And that hedge / bet that Nintendo's making was actually wrong because Sega did catch up on the software front, and then the technology was better, or even comparable in turn to the SNES when that does drop. So, I think there's probably that's probably a not often talked about component of the 16-bit console wars. Maybe, that is pretty interesting. More CD action is spinning your way in a 5-banger CD-ROM game special feature immediately following that, and these are all T16 titles. I have a lot of the shit's not even vaguely appealing. The dinosaur edutainment one, that's not even really a game, is probably the one that intrigued me most, to be honest with you.
Really?
It says that's not even a game, but like
tour.
Yeah, like just it's like it's like fucking kind of like being taken through Jurassic Park,
I could see
to some degree.
I could see that.
That definitely,
especially during in the 90s. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, yeah. I obviously would have never had the hardware to engage it, but if you like just dropped that in front of me as something to pick up a controller and play in 1991, count me in. Or not, I guess not play, engage. It gets D and Q. Like if you look at, they're giving ratings here, and it gets D and Qs in the gameplay and challenge categories in the GamePro review rating deal.
Not up
so they don't so it's not. It just doesn't even qualify for a game in those regards. But it does get 5s on graphics and sound. So
fair. That's fair.
And then Final Zone 2 is the only one with an MSRP that's $61.99, which is honestly less than I expected these to be. Like not only are the T16, which tend to be in that price range, but they're the CD version. I would have expected them to be more. But we're not doing T16 here, so we're not going to talk about those much. A Mega Man 3 full pager is an appearance in a litany of advertising dog shit that carries us worn and weary to overseas projects. But it does get it on our radar for talking game ep at least. The overseas prospects is on the also cover mentioned Valis 3 for the PC Engine, also in Japan, and it looks pretty hot. Side-scrolling action platformer in a fantasy world. I'm sure it's dope. I didn't get it because, I should actually. I'm playing a lot of these C16 games, but I guess I'm a little cramped for time right now because I didn't do it this fucking go round.
Yeah, it looks freaking sweet. I thought the same thing. I was like, man, do I gotta like try to figure out this T16 stuff? Like, I don't.
RetroArch. All you got to do is, if Vim's Layer's gone now, it's not as easy, I guess.
That's what I'm saying.
But, obviously RetroArch. All you got to do is go in and download the. I can't think. I think I use. It's NEC something. It's called NEC. It's like a bug name or an insect name. Beetle, PCE Beetle or some shit like that is the core I use. And yeah, it's great.
I need it, but you're using the same controller, or are you switching controllers each time? Like,
I use a NES one for it.
Interesting.
Yeah, T16. It's like okay. I think it does have a third button. Maybe I use Genesis actually. Yeah, because I think it does have a third button.
Because this,
but with the NES and Genesis controllers have the same number of buttons, really. Though it's just the two in the because the Genesis controller only has a start button, or it doesn't have a select button. So NES has only two main buttons, but it has two buttons in the middle. So it's really the same number of buttons. Either controller is kind of the same deal. It's just obviously maybe a little more ergonomic to use the Genesis one. So yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, you're not, of course not going to be replicating a perfect TurboGrafx 16 experience, but you can use either controller to play the games. You'll be fine, And yeah, some of them are good. Some of them are definitely good.
Yeah, this definitely looks graphically like something I would definitely play. I mean, obviously side scroller, but the cinematic, like, obviously eye catching. They're gonna put the eye candy for freaking
graphics are off the wall, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, that Dragon Spirit is the best comp I can give because I've played so much in the NES Dragon Spirit. Like that fucking T16 Dragon Spirit is laughably far further ahead than the NES one, and the NES one is great, but that T16 one is fucking awesome. It's like playing the arcade game. Very, very good. The Moonwalker themed Adventures of GamePro comic we were promised in the prior issue is upon us next, and this is called Chapter 17, Moonwalkin'. And sure enough, that sparkly wingtip and white pant leg Todd fell to the feet of in the final panel of the previous installment was indeed Mike, and Mike has zombies dancing in unison in no time here.
Of course.
In his darkest moment here, Todd will recall from his extensive Moonwalker playthrough back when we did the game app on it, that getting hit by a comet will turn Mike into a robot, and that perhaps this avenue will work for him as well. And it does. And we close just after his transformation into Super Todd! That is the Ninja Gaiden 2 Act 1 theme, and it is ProView time. And the first NES joint is Kemco Sega's Deja Vu.
Oh, Josh,
just like Nintendo Power, hey, no, cannot argue with what they have here, Jay. Just like Nintendo Power, they chose to make the bulk of the coverage a straightforward walkthrough, the first leg of the game. So again, it just demonstrates, I think, how they just don't know what to do with these games. They're so wild. They're just they can't just do a normal fucking review and coverage of it. They have to it's a story, and they gotta focus on that. I don't know. It's interesting to me that they feel the need to do it differently for just this type of game. Anyways, they give it a fucking 84% aggregate, all fours except a 5 in challenge, and it sounds to me like we have to do it as a game app, given this new data, Jay.
I've always been told the only things that you have to do are die and pay taxes in life. So I don't know where
playing Deja Vu is not one of
falls
them.
On that list. Definitely
below taxes, maybe above death.
Definitely above death. I would absolutely play Deja Vu to stave it off. But these screenshots, man, like they do, like just seeing these screenshots, I just like my whole body just
tenses up. Like, I think it's. I love the fucking illustration of the guy here. He is precise. He looks precisely as befuddled as I looked at age maybe 10 playing this game. You know, just like fucking. I don't know, man.
Like I'm supposed to be having fun. What am I like? Why am I type? Like, what is the cursor? Why is he not jumping? Why is there no shooting? Like,
you can shoot. You can shoot. Well, get a gun in this game.
Yes.
You can punch and shoot in this game, which is, I guess, in Shadowgate you can also. There is like it's not as funnily done as this, where you get like it does like in this game when you hit someone, it does this little animation in the view screen where like it does like one of those clock hand wipes, you know, like an old TV show where it's like it does a transition with a clock motion, and it just says "pow" and a real big starburst, real big. So it's very, I think, in line with the story world and like that kind of like noir type deal, you know. So a little bit of movement in this one. Still very static pictures that you're just clicking on. But it is a 3 megabit cart too, man. That's 3/8 of a megabyte, Jay. What more do you want? $49.95 MSRP. Basically,
what more do I want? do not point and click on my NES, preferably, but I understand.
Well, game aside, I know one little format change that I don't think was here prior to this. They now have little black and white avatars next to the game reviewer's name here. So
I noticed that. Yeah, I was like, what?
It's cool because that's one thing. Like some of them are memorable enough to remember, and like I recall the Wiz and like you know some of the other reviewers that we see a lot. But obviously, this more firmly attributes their names and who they are. That you can kind of maybe you know develop more of a relationship is you know probably a heavy way to put it. But as a kid reading this magazine, you know like these are subjective opinions. So like finding reviewers who align with your sensibilities and then being able to recognize them without having to fucking keep a log is a nice, smart formatting choice, I think, by GamePro that I dig. So I thought it was cool that they added that. And it's obviously just fun too. They're crazy avatars. They're not like fucking. Yeah. It's not like just simple picture, real person pictures of them or anything. They're like fucking crazy illustrations. That very goofy Taxan title we dealt with in the last Nintendo Power, Magician, gets a 2-banger next. And Russ Sakola, a reviewer name I can't recall seeing before, is kind of over the moon about it. He gives it an 80% aggregate and winds down in his write-up with, the variety of spells enables you to do practically anything that endows the cart with an extraordinary creative flair. Part of the fun is messing with them to see what they do. If you want to add some magic to your life, try Magician. It's a pretty ringing endorsement, I think. And that was kind of what I didn't play it this time, but when we saw it last time, I was like, I'm very intrigued because the whole puzzle or the spell building system that's never been done before, and especially it's done well. Like I said, I think there's that one RPG type game that tried to do it but failed miserably. This sounds like it does a better job with it, but it is still there's just no way to know unless you go really deep into it.
Yeah, you gotta commit. You can't just dabble, it feels like.
So, but Russ thinks we should. It's a $44.95 MSRP, only 2 meg cart with this, and an MSC3 chip and battery backup. Asmix Conquest of the Crystal Palace after that, and they are on some shit this month, as this also gets an 80% thanks to 5s in fun and challenge, offsetting the meh 3s in graphics and sound. And it's
I'm starting to question these reviewers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fucking doing my fucking charts and shit. I write all these numbers down. You can get all that stuff on our public Google Drive. Link is in the show notes if you want to fucking analyze that data with my psychopathic ass. Like GamePro is way up higher in the aggregate percentages than Nintendo Power, so they skew high. Period. Nintendo gets all the way down into the like mid to low 40s mid to high 40s rather, and you'll never see anything lower than like a 60 here. So that's interesting that Nintendo is willing to shit on a game more than GamePro is, I think. I guess maybe it doesn't mean that. I mean, you have to look at everything in relativity. Just, as long as the 80% compares to the 60% in the same way that the 70% compares to the 45% and whatever, as long as it fucking the relative spectrum is makes sense, whatever. The numbers are just bullshit, but it is interesting to me that on the surface it looks worse, obviously, to be a 44 than a 60%, even if that means the same thing within the system. So it's funny to me that Nintendo was willing to do that, but GamePro is not as a third party. Like, their whole deal is supposed to be the objectivity of the. They don't give a fuck. Here's the brass tacks. So it's funny that they're not really, at least on the surface, doing that.
Right. Unless there literally is somebody who's like, hey, that's the reason why they chose that one. Like, hey, this one, for whatever reason, resonated with Abby normal.
Right. Precisely. Yeah. That's very possible as well. Yeah. And it's $44.95 MSRP, and it's just a 1 meg cart, and that lackluster tech spec is indicative of why this is just a whatever game to me. I think, it looks like a 1 meg cart. No C chips, just 1 meg, and it looks the part for sure. Tengen's Skull and Crossbones now gets a 72% with a foreign gameplay, and that is fucking insane as well. The game controls like absolute dog shit. It's $39.95 MSRP, 1.5 megabit cart. Also, we've seen a 0.5. Like, that's funny to me. It seems, I don't know, finding a way to. I don't know. That seems extra cheap. That seems extra cheap. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what it is. Is they don't have to play within the hardware rules because those packs, Nintendo licenses them and manufactures them. So Nintendo probably doesn't offer that option. Tengen's doing their own deal, so they can do the halvesies, which is why we have not seen it. So that's exactly probably explains that, but it is funny nonetheless. A couple of puzzle games from some fly-by-night publisher, American Video Entertainment, are forced to share what I presume was a 100% paid-for ProView next, and the Pyramid appears to be a Tetris rip of some kind, and Crazy Creatures seems to be some kind of Bejeweled type shit, and they get 68 and 64% aggregates, respectively, and I feel like they probably only get those 5s in gameplay because they paid for this. Yeah, life's too short to play these shits when I have Dr. Mario, so I'll never know. I presume you maybe didn't fuck with them as well, did you?
Well, Pyramid, like, I remember several Tetris clones from back in the day, but the one I have was like corrupted. Like, I can't see anything. It makes sound.
The ROM didn't even work.
Yeah, it didn't even work. I tried, and I can't find a new one out there. So I just said, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm looking at this. I can see. I've experienced Tetris clones. I know the games that are actually good, that are puzzle games, despite the hate that I might want to give on them, like Dr. Mario. Like, I know the games that are good and similar-ish, and that is not one of them. So
I applaud your dutifulness nonetheless. They want $39.95 for these stinkers, and they don't even bother to mention what are surely paltry card specs. So all that in line with what we already said. And then Taxan has another one for us, and I cannot believe it only gets a single page. This is G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe,
American hero, dropped in January and has a post-colon surname of a real American hero. Why is this not mentioned on the cover? Why does it only get 1 page of coverage? Why does Mongoose only give it a 72%? And the same fucking score these nitwits gave Skull and Crossbones is what that is. And that's all batshit insane to me. But whatevs. We're getting 5 Joes to work with this game. We get Duke, Blizzard, Snake Eyes, if, I don't know, you like ninja options. And there's another hardcore fan favorite I sadly did not own, Captain Gridiron. And then the elitely named Rock and Roll. And each has their own attribute scores, stamina, jump, punch, weapon that differentiate them in gameplay, and it kind of functions not unlike TMNT in that you can swap control of any of the 2 you choose to take into a level at any time. So, you can, like, if you get low on health, you can just immediately switch over if you're going to lose, and there are health pickups you can get in stages, and you can, like, switch back over to that person and power them back up so you can use them again, as long as you don't get them captured first. So that's pretty cool style of gameplay for these kind of licensed team deals, finding a way to work a party that you can use in action-adventure platforming type situations. It's an interesting way to come up with a way to employ that. And there are also vehicles you can get in-game that make you feel even more badass, as a G.I. Joe operative should be able to. And it's G.I. fucking Joe, for Christ's sake. I'm not even a huge G.I. Joe fan. I did kind of get into them late, I've talked about before, but I wasn't like some over the fucking moon nutcase about G.I. Joe. But G.I. Joe is still great and
still
perfect. Yeah, perfect for fucking licensed video game shit, obviously. And blah, blah, blah. So, on Fire Up, they slap you right in the face with one of those best toy logos ever, a sick title track music deal, and then a slideshow of the 5 Joes you'll control. And the slides have, fantastic pixel art of the soldier, their name, weapons, their hand-to-hand combat specialty. And I think it's important to read a snippet of the ninja option Snake Eyes slide offers us. It reads, weapon type, none. Snake Eyes prefers his jitsu of power. And then yet he still has hand-to-hand combat specialty of katana sword. So I thought that the contradiction there was funny to me. They have like this really like chest puffed out ninja shit, but he's still got a weapon. It's pretty funny.
He's got to have options. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's like I said, Geez, of all people to criticize that, I'm very hypocritical of me. There is fire music up and down the expansive soundtrack of this game. A number I could go with here, but my music pull from G. Belaire's SOT rip is the Mission 5 Desert Base theme. Yeah, man, it isn't easy. There's like an inconsistent difficulty curve is the reviewer's biggest like gripe in the mag, but I still think it's a great fucking game. I mean,
yeah, there's not. I'm surprised they didn't put this on the cover instead of like the weird other stuff.
Right.
Like, just let me know, like promote some G.I. Joe. Like,
yeah, he's not even in the poor I guess. Well, he's not. It's not a CD-ROM game. That's why. They were hardcore in that CD-ROM shit. So they would have had to totally junk their probably large number of paid placements in the T16 CD realm, to feature G.I. Joe here. Taxan wasn't willing to spend the bucks. They knew they had heat. They didn't need GamePro's bullshit. So why pay for that is probably the flowchart for getting to that.
Like, we got G.I. Joe. Let's go.
We don't got to fuck around. Exactly. Yeah. The hero sprites are maybe a little smaller than you'd like, I would say.
Yeah.
But otherwise, the graphics are great. I think like easily discern differences in the characters. Snake Eyes has a projectile hand-to-hand attack. Daggers, which is funny because they call them katanas. They don't look like katanas, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And like because he has that's his hand-to-hand attack. He's not bound to the ammo scarcity that the other characters have with their ranged attack. You know what I mean? So there's like that level of, it's not just like, oh, he jumps higher than this by a few pixels than the other characters. There's also, I think, kind of heavier differences between them that make it more interesting to choose who your team is going to be or which player you're going to use to go through a certain part of the stage. Like, I love that, agency over your experience that they give you. It's very fucking cool. And he can also, not only do you have the ammo thing, but he can throw them vertically, and the other characters can't necessarily do that. You know what I mean? So just a lot of big differences. He can jump a little higher than Duke, but he has less HP, so that's maybe a simpler one.
Strategies as you go along.
Yeah, very cool. And yeah, I mean, they give it a 3 in sound, and that's a war crime, given how great the soundtrack is. And then, yeah, the 72% overall is absolutely crazy, because this is 100% GamePro, or rather Game Ep territory in my book. I don't know where you're standing on that, but
yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, great fucking game. $49.99 MSRP for a 3 meg cart. Sign me the fuck up. That's it for NES, though. We move into Genesis Pro Views, where we start with the ISOH Game Ep alum Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse from Sega of America. And The Bohemian calls it a treat for all ages, on the way to awarding it a searing 88% cum.
And I would agree, sir.
Yep. I think Yard Double Blessing aligns with that very much so. And they don't offer an MSRP for the 4 meg cart because Al Nilsson wasn't fucking down with MSRPs in these magazines. And then Sega's tried and true 3-banger comes ripping in next. It's for Joe Montana Football. Is the game feature for the first time. And Genesis does Joe Montana Football. And I feel like that's a headline that is a bit weak for this monumental licensing haul, frankly. Like, they did so great with so much marketing stuff. Like, that doesn't have any flair to it at all. I mean, you got the Genesis does, sure, but like, there's just no color to that at all, in my opinion. So,
They were like, stay on brand. Whatever you do, stay on brand. Genesis does.
I guess. even if you can't think of a good idea, which is bad direction.
We got Joe Montana. We got Genesis. Like,
that's all
how
we
can
need.
we lose?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. They do, to their credit, though, have a CRT pictured with a title screen mock-up. It's not the actual in-game title screen, but probably what they perceived it to be at the time of this marketing fucking devising. And you can see the scan lines in the image on the TV. That's pretty legit, I think. A really cool design choice. And the library panel is here, too. There's nothing new on that, but I still fucking love looking at it, all the games on the third page.
Every time. Like, oh, what new? I love that little new stripe. Like, what's actually new?
Yeah. That's not new. I've played that 11 episodes ago. But whatever you say. Kaneko's DJ Boy is the only other Genesis Pro view, and what the fuck is up with that short list, man? Like, why? Like, Genesis is hot now. You're not even doing the SMS games anymore. Like, what is with not more Genesis games? It's bullshit to me.
I mean, maybe they were just really betting on TurboGrafx 16, like, because like earlier, I agreed with the whole CD-ROM section about like obviously everything that was coming, but it seemed like they were also propping up TurboGrafx 16. Like, all right, this is like the next wave, so I think that's also why you get. All right, we got some Genesis here, but really, check this out.
What about these CDs? Yeah, I don't know. It's fucked for Sega's case. Andromedia gives the 4 meg cart an 84% on DJ Boy here, and we played it a long time ago, and I remember being curious, but an 84%? Whoa. Yeah, 5s in graphics and fun, and Andromedia's her wrap up paragraph definitely isn't 84% sounding, So it's interesting that the numbers worked out that way. It can be summated as the levels are too cake and then the bosses are too hard. And I definitely remember dying on that first boss. Mm-hmm. Come to think of it. Yep. And I fired it up, tried it again. It was just a refresher. And same thing. I did enjoy myself all the way through the first stage, but that Big Mama boss battle absolutely fucking wrecked me, So it's like... She has 12 life units. You start with 4. And maybe you've lost them on the way. And it's 1 death and the game's over. So, it's fun to play, but I think the only way we could really get anywhere and talk about it for a game app would be as if we Game Genie the fuck out of it. You know what I mean? Yep. So, I don't know. Obviously, you get better if you fucking do it with repetition, but that disparity alone with the first boss seems awfully steep. You can't imagine it gets better. So, that's a tough starting point.
High hopes, same thing.
T16 Pro Views next. Sinistron and Superstar Soldier. They round out our home console features. Both are space shmups. The latter gets a fucking 92%, which is scorching. And the screenshots do look cool. Huge boss sprites and shit. So I actually did, because these aren't CD, I did fire them up. Tried both. Sinistron is fine, but kind of slow and plotting, I would say. But Superstar Soldier fucking cooks, man. And really? It is, it's, it does have one-hit death shit, but that would be my literal only knock on it. It was a fucking blast, man. Absolute fucking blast to play. So, again, those T16 ones, especially for like arcade type stuff that you like, man, T16 is worth fucking with for sure, dude. There's some really, really cool shit on there.
I can tell. Just looking at the screenshots, I'm for sure.
Yeah. Heat. That funny-ass Neo Geo hot dog ad calling the rest of the game console ownership landscape weenies sends us to the backseat of the Little Brown 86 T-Bird for a long car ride with handheld Pro Views. We have Mega Man, Gremlins 2, and Dragon's Lair on the Game Boy, and then Rampage on the Lynx. And mostly bangers, save for the Rogue Dragon's Lair bullshit. Did you have Mega Man? Did you get the Game Boy one? I guess that's worth asking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I know I didn't have it. I'm pretty sure Jab did not either. Was it just... I can't remember what the mag said. Is it just an amalgamation of... like Mega Man 1 and 2? Is it a whole new deal, or is it
it's
one
like
for one port?
It's like 4 different robots, so it's like a smaller version.
Okay.
So it's a different kind of game, but it's
robots that we've seen, or new robots?
I don't actually remember. I think they're different.
I guess we got the man.
No, they're familiar. They're familiar.
Quick
Man, Heat Man, Bubble Man, Flash Man.
Okay, so those are all.
Yeah, those are definitely all characters.
Pulls. Those are pulls from 2. So it's
Yep.
Pulling in shit from 2.
So
Okay.
yeah, because I remember that. I remember being so pumped when I finally had like, oh, Mega Man, let's go! Like I didn't even care. It's like I'm playing it on the go. I'm as happy as I could be.
Looks pretty fucking good. I mean,
yeah.
Even like that screenshot of the 1-up, I think, is where I really want to be impressed. In that, like, that's fully the exact same Mega Man head, and I can totally tell what it is. You get a little bit. You can see that you have a little bit of that. Like, there's just less pixels, so there's not as much on screen as you probably would like for an action platformer. But other than that, it looks like it's probably pretty dope.
Oh yeah, dope it is.
There is a full pager from Electro Brain separating Game Boy from the Lynx joint, a racing game called Nissan Supercars that dropped in February. And however the game might be, they are doing a giveaway sweepstakes along with it, and you can win a 1991 Nissan SE V6 King Cab 4x4 truck. And it's not at all what's pictured in the key art photography. What we see here is a NASCAR-ish stock car racer, but It sounds pretty fucking cool nonetheless if you like trucks or whatever. So I'm sure whoever won that, if someone did, was probably fucking stoked out of their goddamn mind.
Kidding me?
If you like, say like,
kidding me?
It's one thing if you're like into that shit, and you probably already have maybe not this much of one, but like some kind of vehicle that maybe you go out and you buzz around in the mud or do whatever. You're that kind of person. But like, think someone that like isn't into that at all, and they win this, and they're like, okay, well now I got to start doing it. So they have to like, it's like I think of like the person sitting down to like figure out like, okay, I got to find a place. Where do you find a place to just mud around, and like they probably got themselves stuck because they didn't know what they were doing. It's just like there's just a lot of funny side effects, I think, to someone not being savvy with that, winning that prize.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
What if it was like somebody's first? Like, think about a teenager. Like, what if we get one?
Their first
like
car,
my first
right?
car is like this. Like, what?
The worst,
can you imagine?
yeah. Definitely didn't make it to 18 is what it is. If their parents are at all not good at their job.
Are you kidding? My older brother would always take us mud running in his Jeep, where we would go over these like trails and we'd get mud splash all over us. Like, if I had something like a truck version, like I'd be in a heartbeat, man.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. In Ohio, it's some real ass place too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely not doing completely stupid things. Moby does have this at a 7.2, the game I mean, and that is not too shabby. And firing it up, it reveals a pretty damn fun title track and art animation combo. And this artwork just has a white Lambo rolling by on a loop the whole time. And yeah, I saw that and just like, what was it about the early 90s and Lamborghinis, dude? Like, I feel like, I don't know.
It was promoted somewhere, somehow.
So yes, there was some sort of initiative somewhere, yeah. They're like, I would say, if I had to totally spitball a guess, 40% of young boys had one of those Scholastic Book Club posters.
Oh yeah,
of a Lamborghini on
why?
the wall. Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, right, yeah. I didn't.
Why?
I was
I
never
read
a car kid, so I didn't get on it.
Well,
but
I wasn't a car kid, but I also had one.
But I also was a kid. They were fucking everywhere, man. I still think to this day, even back then, I thought they were hideous. Like I just don't get the appeal. But again, I'm the furthest thing from a car guy, so I'm probably a shit opinion on this matter. If it's ever worth anything. If my opinion is ever worth anything, it is probably particularly useless in that particular realm. Yeah, man, and I was fucked with this a little bit. Did you try it?
No, I actually did not try it.
Okay, yeah. I was surprisingly compelled to play all the way through the first track, which took way too long. It was like fucking 8 laps or something, because the game is very ugly, it's very slow, and it is like this perfectly top-down view that just makes it look like avatars of cars instead of actual cars, So just not at all pleasant to look at or in feel. I mean, I guess it felt okay. That was probably, a racing game. It needed to feel good for me to want to finish it, I guess. But yeah, it looked fucking terrible, and it was so slow. It's a port from an Amiga, ZX Spectrum, Atari ST computer, that realm, and we've talked about that before. Like anything coming from that era of PC stuff over to consoles is always running at this really slow, clunky rate that is not in line with NES or especially Genesis action feel, and that's definitely here. It was probably very dope by those platforms and standards, I would guess, and I'm guessing the library rankings on Moby are probably reflecting that, not the NES, because there's just no way that you could sit and play this for a lengthy period of time on the NES. I don't think. But I guess not as bad as I thought it could be, looking at the ad, for sure. After these messages,
we'll be right back.
Donita Stokes, president of HAG.
Sega Genesis really bakes my beans. Now you get a free 16-bit game when you buy a Genesis system. Oh, what is this? Thunder Force 3 from Technosoft. Oh, matching firepower on strange worlds with big bosses. And this hard driving from Tengen, jumping drawbridges, 360-degree loops. Oh, somebody call a cop. You want real fun? Try macaroni art. Self-portrait.
Get one of these games up to a $70 value free, plus Altered Beast when you buy a Genesis system.
That is a fun commercial from 1991 for the Sega Genesis, obviously showcasing Thunder Force 3 and Hard Driving, both dope-ass games. A dude poorly costumed as an uptight female authority figure. A screen behind her shows an organization named Humans Against Genesis, HAG for short, that she's affiliated with, and that's kind of the whole theme, that she's... SWAT! Hot tips, tactics, and passwords. Gets us going in the home stretch of this mag. There's an invincibility for your favorite ISOH Game App alum, Captain Skyhawk, Jay, in here, and it's precisely as messy as you'd expect. You push up, right, down, left, up 4 times in a row at the falling letter screen in the opening sequence. And that sounds hard to do. Anytime, like, you're, like, the same thing a bunch of times in a row for a code is shitty code design, You're like trying to count, do it fast. It's just not.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Do it either. Just even trying to get your thumb, especially as an old guy, but even as a kid, maybe. It's the functionality, just getting your thumb to do the same thing, that many times in a row. Not always precise. And then obviously you're counting. You might fuck up the count. You also got to watch the screen. There's just a lot going on. It's tough to do that. It needs to change every time, in my opinion. And I also really like this Mega Man 3 number of shots required to defeat each boss table on page 98. Yeah,
it's
the data
so good. Yeah,
the data nerd in me is just like, ooh, this is great. It's a matrix with the boss on the x-axis, and weapon on the y-axis, and 28 is the highest number. That's the most shots something can take. And 4 is the lowest, and there are some X's denoting total ineffectiveness as well in certain places. And yeah, I want to celebratorily go through the best weapons for each boss and how many shots it takes to frag them. I feel like probably you should do that for us, Jay, here, and interpret that data for listeners, since that's your jam.
I'm like, that's so funny. That's what I did. Like, I actually turned to my laptop when I was doing it before, because I was like, let me just see that. All right. So when you're squaring off against Sparkman, if you use the Shadow Blade, it'll only take you 7 shots, which is optimal. That is the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you're using the Gemini laser or the tap spin, and it takes you 28. Otherwise, I mean, obviously there are things that just you can't then do nothing, so you don't want to do those. But otherwise, so moving forward, we got Snake Man. Best thing is actually the needle cannon, only 7. So pretty much, like, this is all in the grid when we think about it. 7 is the best generally, and 28 is the worst.
Well, no, there's some 4s in there for sure. There's definitely some 4s.
Oh, that is true. That is true. That's true. So Needle Man, that's right. Needle Man, if you have the Gemini laser, 4 hits. Hard Man, if you have the magnet missile, takes 7. Otherwise, there's just like a lot of stuff that just does nothing.
Ineffective, yeah.
So that one's pretty specific. Tap Man, 4 hits with the hard knuckles. Magnet Man, 4 hits with the Shadow Blade, or 4 hits with the Spark Shock. So you got options there. I love options. Gemini Man, the best you can do is 6 if you have the Search Snake. And then Shadow Man, 4 with the Tap Spin. Good stuff. This guide actually really made me want to play Mega Man 3 again.
Yeah, the thing that again, it's data nerd stuff, but the thing that really gets me going is like the divisibility of so much of it. Like there are some outliers, like the 4s and 6s, but most of it is divisible by 7. You know, so just like the clean math of that makes me really satisfied inside that there's like a system that we could like that there's a science to it, that it's not
it's all mathematical programming. Like you gotta have the code to make it work. I like that.
It's not just random Nintendo fucking shit. You know, it's very comforting to see and know that.
It's not like strict RNG randomly. You're just like, what? Sometimes it hits 3, sometimes it's like 9. What is happening? Sometimes it's 14. Yeah,
love it. Bunch of ads throughout. Well, are there any other SWAT things that piqued you?
I mean, I like the Mario 399 live trick. That's great. I was actually just surprised that there was so much Boy and His Blob stuff here, you know, since that's just a weird, like a title that was popular back in the day that I never got into. I was just more fascinated about that. And the fact that there was a Solstice Unlimited Potions.
I saw that
thing as well.
Maybe that makes it playable.
Hey, I mean, if you have unlimited potions, I'm sure that gives you some type.
I think there's another thing. Maybe in like the Ask the Pros or something coming up. That was another Solstice tip, and I was like, maybe with that.
Well, this one is unlimited potions and wizards technically, so I don't know if that means lives, but
it's gotta be. Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah.
That would also be helpful for sure. No, yeah. The thing was the one hit. My biggest problem was the inability to perceive depth and stuff on that isometric view, and the fact that it was one hit death. And like there were so many times where you die and then you just go back to the beginning too. It's not even like you don't have multiple lives where you restart right there. I feel like it was starting right back at the beginning of the castle. I don't think it's the same room, dude.
No, I think
I remember being very frustrated.
I don't think that's quite right, but we should play it and find out.
There are a bunch of ads throughout SWAT here, but only one is new. A full pager from Hot B for a title puzzler that dropped back in November, Palamedes, and I tried it. It looks like shit, but it's kind of fun, man. You have a little dude running around at the bottom, and he holds a die, like board game dice die, and he can shoot that straight up. And at the top of the play area is a horizontal line of dice that appears, and they are random assortments of 1 through 6, just like a normal 6-sided die. And they're face up, so that's the side of the die you can see. It's like a top-down view of it, kind of. And every few seconds, a new line appears behind that one up top and pushes the remaining dice down a line, advancing towards crushing your little dude, right? So the goal is you have to run back and forth and shoot the die you're holding, that number, up at the row of dice to make them disappear. And the catch is you have to be shooting the same number side up to dispatch the die you're shooting at, and then you cycle through them one by one in ascending order by hitting the A button. So you can't just go back to 2 if you pass it up. You have to cycle all the way through them again. So again, there's like the challenge built into it. And, you know, the whole thing is you're trying to, on the fly, take them out in groups. So there's this, and there's the huge time constraint, obviously, of the space getting smaller and smaller. So, like, you're trying to work those quick math problems on your head, or just not even math problems, but visual matching problems, you know, in the most optimal way. And I was quite a bit of fun, actually. For how bad it looks, I was like, I can't believe how much fun I'm having playing this fucking game.
I initially even had the music from that, like, before I found another track. Like, I was like, all right, this is catchy. It's kind of stuck in my brain now.
Yeah. And that's so critical too for puzzlers. You cannot, if you're going to play some crank, it's got to be a good crank. You can't just sit and listen to.
Otherwise, I'm just going to be annoyed and be like, oh, can I be myself?
It needs to be great, but not attract my attention so I can focus. You know, it's like there's a delicate walk to do with music composition on puzzle games for sure. We have Ask the Pros now, and there is a very timely appearance of Maniac Mansion here. JD Keene in Haverford, PA wants to know what the fuck is up with the doorbell ringing and no one being there when he goes outside. And they explain it's both imperative to score the package the mailman has left before Weird Ed, of course, but also that it's an opportunity to slink into his bedroom and root around through his shit. So they, from two sides of it, give very good advice, I think. And they also have snippets for Tombs and Treasure, A Boy and His Blob again, Iron Sword, which is another one that's kind of been lurking around in the periphery of my game ep suggestions historically, so that's interesting to have crop up out of nowhere. And then Godzilla, all NES, because I guess Sega kids are smarter and they don't need help. That's my guess about that. And ISOH Game Ep alums SMB3 and Strider are the Ask the Readers prompts this month, the ones where they're giving questions that people are writing in and then asking readers to send in the answers to match them up, which is, I've said some cool engagement stuff they're doing.
I like it.
Yep. Shorts Pro Shots follows that. And we have NES, both Flying Warriors and Little Ninja Brothers from Culture Brain, RoboCop 2 via Data East, and Atari's Gauntlet 2, which you mentioned earlier, via Mindscape. We've talked about the first two, garbage, and RoboCop 2 doesn't come out for a while, so we don't have to address it quite yet. It's also nothing to be all too fired up about, I don't think. But Gauntlet Deuce came out back in September of 90. And I can't really recall discussing it. I don't know. I mean, it was covered in the 4-player strategy guide, that NES Play Action's on the cover of. So I feel like they gave it some love. So maybe I'm misremembering in that. But either way, I fired it back up and fucked with it a little bit just as a reminder. And, the 4-player thing, man, like, I think that it's a super low energy idea for finally enacting that 4-player parsec effort that we've talked so many fucking times about, Like, we don't need to... You can just be a one-time thing. We're not like... It's not like that Swords and Serpents one. That's cool, an RPG. But obviously, if you don't do that regularly, you're wasting your time, So this is definitely one we could just jump in and fuck with. That would be super fucking fun, and we have yet to do that. Dude, God willing, we can get 4-player parsec to work.
I will 100% co-op this game. Are you kidding me? I love Gauntlet 2. I would... Yeah. Absolutely 100% without question. Spoiler alert.
Okay. Well, that's... And it would be interesting from a marketing perspective, Jay, that knowing that we are going to not do the game that we choose at the end of this episode, actually next, we have something else lined up, gives it even more anticipation. The Lorg Disciple selection for the 4th side of it. So that's an interesting marketing angle on choosing that. So we will discuss in here in a few minutes, I guess. Then on Genesis, we have 2 new ones here. We have Compile-developed Musha from Seismic, and then Sega-developed Crackdown from Sage's Creation. And Musha is an acronym. The long version is Metallic Uniframe Super Hybrid Armor. And that maths out to a vertically scrolling arcade shooter where you control a mech equipped with ninja fucking options. And Seismic and Compile teaming up makes for dope shooters historically, so that's exciting. And it has a searing, 8.3 on Moby. So I was like, ooh, buddy, let's fucking check this out. And it just dropped this month, too, so it's brand new. Fired it up. The opening cinematic is absolute fire. And there's this really fucking funny moment that I posted where they cut to a dude in one of the mechs, and you can like see shit blowing up outside his window in the background, like they're like running and like in a battle, and it cuts to this fucking one guy in his mech, and then it's obviously part of a dialogue, but it cuts to him for his fucking piece of dialogue, and it reads, "Shut up, Greg! All you do is complain." It was just such a great fucking line. In or out of context, it's great, but even better out of context probably. So yeah, just really fucking super fun. And did you play it?
Yes, I did play it.
This is a fucking incredibly fun game, dude. Holy shit. Did you enjoy yourself?
It's tough. I mean, it's freaking tough. I got owned for sure. Like,
really?
I need to get good at it.
Did you get through the first boss?
I got to it. I didn't get through it. I played all the way through it, and it was amazing, man. You were like constantly, this is I thought it was so in your wheelhouse whenever I see this, but you are it's always what you talk about, but you are constantly getting powered up more and more and more. And it felt so fucking good. Like, not only is it constantly happening, but you feel it as it's doing it. It's not just arbitrary, constant things. I did not experience that because...
Really? Well, yeah, I feel like we argue about this whenever that happens. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I think it was just RNG because I was like, wait, what is going on? But then I was like, I like this. I see things happening. power-ups were coming. I don't know, it feels like I got a harder difficulty experience somehow, because like I would see the power-ups, which normally I grab them, and stuff was flying at me so quick that I would not even be able to grab the power-ups most of the time. And other stuff would be coming. Like I was just like, what is like I like this is cool enough graphically, sound like I'm looking at this, I would play it more, but I was just getting like hammered. Yeah, it was freaking tough.
Man, perhaps I'm a better shmup player than you. Yeah, did you clock that you can hit the A button to like divert some of your forward facing attack capability to fire a shot out of your ass end? Did you notice that functionality? That's a super cool thing that you have total agency over, so you can choose to shoot behind you.
Helpful.
Yeah, so that's a cool ass thing, and yeah, I mean the graphics fucking incredible, the control fucking awesome, like that. Yeah, the first boss so fucking cool. It's a mobile dojo or some shit like something. It's in like Ninja-E, and it's a really cool touch to me that you meet it at the beginning of the stage, you see it, and it kind of races off screen, and you chase after it, and then deal with the whole stage, and then at the very end it comes back, and when you fucking defeat it, when you blow up all the shit on it in that boss battle, you then fly inside of it and are instructed to destroy the power chamber, is what it says. And fuck yes, I want to destroy the power chamber. Let's fucking go, man. Yeah, it's to me, dude. Yeah, just incredible flying shmup. I cannot. We're beating a dead horse at this point, but I just cannot believe how much better shmups have gotten to me moving into the 16-bit era.
Look at that.
Yeah, dude, it's so much more fun.
So we're playing Musha then? Is that
it's as you can imagine, probably on my list after that fucking spiel. Yeah, dude. I mean, really fucking good, dude. Really, really, really good game. Wild. So that's that one, and I couldn't find a month for the 91 release of Crackdown, so fuck it, we'll call it out. And it is, I would call it a really interesting top-down strategy action game where you're going through or around some base planting bombs and dealing with thugs or whatever. So like, kind of a little bit Bomberman-ish where you got to like plant a bomb and like use that for strategy stuff, either opening a door, creating a fucking hazard for the enemies that are coming after you. And yeah, maybe if you really dig into it, there's something there and do some extensive manual consumption, but I don't know. Even with that, I think this is one of those games that would be really tough to embrace in 2024.
Yeah, that's
it's just a little too antiquated, I think.
Yeah, not my
without some nostalgia fuel, of course. Which I certainly do not have. I'd never heard of it. Word, a new Dragon Warrior 2 full pager from Enix follows that up, and it is further explaining that send in your written detailed impressions of Dragon Warrior 2, along with a snapshot of you standing next to the final game screen on your boob tube. And oh my fucking god! They made and are giving away the 4 keys in the game, along with the pre-release copies of DW3 and other cool shit. And I saw this and my jaw dropped, dude. So there's a bunch, of course, different price tiers, and the first one is one winner is getting a statue of what they call Goldman here in the ad, and it looks to me like the Gold Golem, I think. They actually might be called Goldmen in the game.
Yeah.
Come to think of it. Yeah, but they're golems if you go off the first game. So that's the first prize, and then 3 winners will get what I'm most envious of, a pairing of very ornate keys they are calling the Jailer and Watergate keys on this really dope-ass keychain. And then the next tier of prize is four of them are being awarded, and it's a similar type deal to the other key one with the silver and gold keys, which would also be cool, but not as cool as the Watergate and Jailer keys, obviously. So that's the 4th prize, or 3rd prize, I should say. And then the 4th tier is 6 winners get what they describe as a cloth displaying the armor from Dragon Warriors 1, 2, and 3. So it's like this, like something you would hang on your wall, but it's cloth, not paper, and it shows all the shit you can get in the game. That's super cool too. It's basically a fucking, which I love them, the weapon breakdown or the armor breakdown from the games, from all 3 games too, which is awesome, on top of just like a manual, like the same way you would have a manual breakdown for armor, And then the last one is another 6. It's the same thing, but with weapons. So awesome prizes. Probably the coolest ones we've seen for any of these video game giveaways. I think it's even better than the truck. I'd rather have the Watergate key than a fucking Nissan truck, flat out. Obviously, if you just want to sell them, You're not going to feel that way. But just as far as like what I would want to own, I want the Watergate key way more than I want a fucking Nissan fucking muddin truck. So super fucking cool. This was really, really cool and well-designed giveaway. I thought very awesome. And this is also, like I said, in addition to getting that pre-release copy of the third game. So not only do you sit and get to fucking, you open the box and get this cool ass thing, you immediately get to walk over to your Nintendo and start playing the third version of the game that isn't even fucking out yet. So that is just off the charts amazing thing to have show up in your mailbox as a kid. You know, it's just so fucking good. This is you send in a form, of course, with all this, and kind of an interesting thing about that I noticed that was a little different. They ask for the name of the store where you bought Dragon Warrior 2. So, like when you send your shit in. So, I thought that was an interesting market research little nugget. You know, they want to know which retailers. I don't know. I guess, they can tell which retailers aren't sending back units, so they know which retailers or what retailers are moving unit-wise. So this has to have another goal, I would think. And the only thing I can come up with is like this is where your high engagement players are buying their game. You know what I mean? The ones that like it enough to play through the game and then even mail some shit in about it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like an elevated knowledge of which retailers our really core audience are going to. And that's really smart marketing department shit, I think.
Yeah, so. At the time, it could have been like, you got KB, Toys R Us.
Right.
You got
Children's Palace.
You could have 3 or 4, and you could just have sold 1,000 copies to each of them. And you're like, I made my money because I sold them their copies, but which ones, like, where are you going? And if everybody's like, oh, we got them all from KB, like everybody's responding from KB, it's like, all right, well,
I'll get more to KB. Right? Yeah,
exactly. Let me reallocate.
The answer to that is probably Toys R Us, but
KB, I just did it in there, of course.
At least volume. I mean, percentage-wise, who knows? But volume, pretty likely that.
Yeah, I don't know, but then EGM, Electronic Boutique took a lot. Like Babbage's. For a while, that's where I would go. Like, I'm going to the mall to go.
I was out of NES. No way, not Genesis
not now.
Either. Yeah. I would say
as a teen going.
Exactly. When you go to the interior mall, and you're hanging around the mall at least a little bit autonomously, if not entirely. Yeah, you're going into Babbage's and Electronics Boutique in the mall areas, but
that's a few years later.
Yep, exactly. Sure. In this area, you're still definitely going to the standalone with mom.
Yeah.
Pro News Report then winds us down on the issue. They kicked the February news cycle off with a bang, confirming that the SNES will hit U.S. shores in September, and they tack on some hard data at the end. Nintendo has already received in excess of 2 million orders for the Super Famicom in Japan. So, feeling super comfy about the manufacturing cycle over there at Nintendo, I think.
And this creates the hype cycle. It's like, it's coming, let's go.
Getting closer. That's 6. So 6... If it ends up being actually, I feel like it might be August actually that it happens, but either way, it's still a number of months off, 6 months off, 7 months off. Like where does that put us if we had to guesstimate? I guess you maybe just multiply by 3 probably is the smart way to do it, right? Because there's 3 magazines. Get Sega's a little, not quite that frequent yet, but close enough probably for the purposes of math, maybe 2.5 if you really want to get nitty gritty. 2.5 times 7. That's how many episodes we are away from talking Nintendo Super NES stuff. On the pod, so maybe a year from now. Just kind of depressing to think, actually, that's that far away.
That's farther away than I thought, than I had hoped initially.
A Cool Maniac Mansion story is second, talking about how Nintendo didn't catch the exploding hamster possibility in the game until after 250k units had shipped, and they did require Jalico to nix it, and they didn't. I don't think it was. They don't mention it like a formal recall, but they did make them switch the stop manufacturing, fix it, and then you start selling those copies. So I'm sure that cost them a little bit of dough to do that, but that's probably why I bet those. I didn't think to look it up, but I bet copies where that's in the game are probably way more expensive on eBay.
I'm sure. You gotta get
that 250 units. 250,000 units is not a small number of units by any length. But still, I'm sure it's obviously a little bit more at least. Links on the Move is the headline on a story about a company going by Flight Video Inc., that currently rents movies to flyers of commercial airlines. They're going to start renting link systems along with 2 games to flyers in select airports. And that's interesting as fuck. The whole idea is that you turn it back in at the destination airport and they have enough locations where that can somehow function. Sounds tough to me, and that's precisely why probably I never knew this happened. Or maybe it never even did happen, because it's just not sustainable, I don't think, from a inventory management thing,
Yeah, we flew once a year, and I would have loved to have seen something like this.
For sure.
I would have been like, Mom, Dad, please, let me. I would be so happy on the plane.
The links too, especially Atari. They had a really
right? Are you kidding me?
I probably would walk down by with my cute Game Boy shoulder bag. I'm above that.
I mean, just to try it out, even if I had the Game Boy right now, and I just saw that, I'd be like, well, I don't own one of those. I would love to just try this for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, they're probably okay, obviously, you're flying out of JFK, right? And you're going to fucking Fort Wayne, right? Obviously, all the volume in the world of JFK, no problem. But once that thing gets to fucking Fort Wayne, how many Fort Wayne people, what are the odds of that thing getting out of Fort Wayne to somewhere with high volume again? Super low. It's just a super tough inventory.
They would have to have the kiosks at every place, right? Essentially. Otherwise, you just have.
But again, even obviously, you have to have the kiosk. Yeah, I wasn't even talking about that, but yeah, that's also a problem. So I'm sure they probably don't include Fort Wayne on the fucking airport list is how you get around this. But even if you don't go that far, you say, okay, what's a intermediate Seattle? That's an international airport, sure, but it's obviously not JFK LAX volume. Are enough people getting through Seattle to have inventory not build up there in some prohibitive way? It's just super fucking tough thing at the time, I think, to deal with.
You'd have to think it'd be New York, Chicago, LA, Seattle.
Right. Because if you get into having to ship things to get inventory to balance out, you're just fucking yourself.
You have to be going from one of those to and from destinations to make it work, kind of thing.
Very tough. Yep. But cool idea for sure. Yeah. More rumblings, I guess, from Atari about their 16-bit system, currently codenamed the Panther, coming down the pipe for the January CES. And I read that, Jay, and it made me miss Jay's Atari Corner. We don't have Jay's Atari Corner anymore. It totally unceremoniously disappeared. It didn't even, there wasn't even a last hurrah celebration or anything. It was just fucking gone,
Very sad. I would be excited reading this and thinking oh, the Jaguar is coming, but I would never get one of those because I'd be moving on. I'd be playing Super Nintendo at the time. So
for some reason, this made me think of, I just watched maybe what we're jamming on now, but not a game thing that I could have mentioned. But have you seen the Reading Rainbow doc? I think it's called Over the Rainbow.
On my list. I saw it.
It's very good. Very, very good. The producer that did it is one of my indie producing. I'm a fan of hers. But it's on Netflix, so you obviously watch on there. Very good. Just so good. And LeVar Burton, fucking so good. Really well done though, and they, I don't know. I fucking haven't seen that in forever, of course, and it is just amazing. And I only watched it in school, dude. I did not. I don't even know if I knew a way to watch that at home. So I remember, I think that was 3rd, 4th grade. Maybe we would have your library where you you go, they weren't periods, but for a part of the day you would go to the library. And I remember that being a very frequent thing that it only happened in the library. They would wheel that fucking huge cart in with the TV that can kill you if it falls over and, watch it on there as part of the library fucking thing. And it is amazing how much it comes back to you when you see snippets of it and shit. And I had completely forgotten that the kids reviewed the books, and that was a really awesome choice they made. Just as far as the devising the doc format, they interview those kids that did and then show their kid review, and just so well done and
so good.
It's very, very good documentary. Highly recommend. Any other Pro News Report shit tickle your fancy?
No, that was pretty much the good stuff from Pro News.
Word. Next issue teases a lot of license shit. Silver Surfer, Ugh, The Punisher, Les Ugg and ISOH Game App alum Yo! Noid on the NES. Dick Tracy, Fantasia, and Spider-Man on Genesis. And Spider-Man is a really fucking cool game, and Jab had that shit, and I have childhood reclamation of that shit into my game collection now. So that will be something we will discuss at length, I expect, when we get to that issue. And then Fantasia is exciting if it's half as good as Castle of Illusion, too. So another Mickey game is cool to see.
I can't remember my thoughts on Fantasia. Can't remember.
That was the one I remember, dude. When we were first fucking with Castle of Illusion, I kind of amalgamated those two in my head into the same thing. So I was, I don't know, surprised is probably a little extreme, but yeah, excited, I guess, to find that they were two completely separate games and they were close enough together that, they're still talking about Castle of Illusion in the magazine, and here comes the new one, so pretty cool. Ads closing us out. Namco's Powerball for the Genesis. SNK's Ikari Warriors 3, which I don't believe ever gets released. We have WrestleMania Challenge from LJN, and then the aforementioned Noid from Capcom. And yeah, we haven't seen this Powerball shit before. I saw you chatter on the Facebook page this morning about it. Its release date is a vague sometime in 91, so even though I kind of wanted to be done with this issue when I'm seeing this, I did my duty and fired it up, and it is described as a hybrid of American football, soccer, and rugby. The screenshots look bananas, so I did not expect to know what the fuck to do, and that was kind of true. Yeah. But the opening cinematic, great presentation, great music, pretty good, graphics are all solid. That sport itself is indeed fucking nuts, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I'm pretty sure I was still having fun. There's definitely something there. And if we get more coverage on it, I might be willing to discuss this for a game app just to get a better grasp of how wacky it is and all that, But yeah, I turned it on and, it's got that soccer thing going on where, your backcourt guy can't advance the next part of the field, and I think there's actually 3 parts of the field. So I don't know if it's just backfield, can't go to front court, whatever the fuck the terminology is in soccer. But it's got that going on, so I had to figure out how to get the ball out of the backcourt once it went back there, and that was tough, But it was fucking kind of cool, man.
I can sum it up by saying this. We need to be able to read the freaking instruction manual, and then we'll be good to go. Because I had the same problem. I was like, I can't figure out, I like the sound, I like the way this looks. All right, I think I got to figure out, wait, why does this keep happening? I just need to pull out a manual and just take the time
but it was
read all the way through it.
Yeah, the animation, cool. Because you do, it is, that is, it's not complicated, so whatever. Of course, it makes sense. But it has the soccer layout. I guess if you were to try to pick apart that soccer, football, rugby thing, it has the soccer field layout and maybe kind of player count and rule structure to some degree. But then instead of just slide tackling and shit, those dudes just smear each other, full on football / rugby.
Him, so I want to get away from them.
Right. So yeah, just very interesting. There's a lot of, you just get fucking laid out and then the balls, kind of
I need to read the official rules. That's not even just how to play. Give me the official rules of the game, because I feel like I'm misinterpreting some things.
There's no question that the, all these sports games, they do, we talked about how much effort went into the Joe Montana football instruction manual or whatever, where they just explain football to you like you're 4, how necessary that is, incredibly necessary for this game, because it is a whole new wild rule set. But again,
intriguing though.
Very well presented. And looking at the, I expected it to be dodgeball is what I expected. Powerball to me, I expected dodgeball, kind of just looking at the key art and stuff. So I was surprised that it was this totally out there new sport, so cool, very creative, surprised that it's never even gotten on the radar. I've never even heard of it, so.
Yeah, same thing.
Pretty cool, interesting discovery. And we out!
Theme from RoboCop 2 on the NES, bringing us in to the last segment. Josh, what we got?
Nerd data to begin. We have a 76.89% aggregate rating for the issue. Only 9 titles from the NES and Sega Genesis to work with, figuring into that number, which is a low number in my opinion, and even I guess comparing it to previous issues. And that also is quite a bit below the rolling average of 78.93%. So it's not surprising that I expect we will have a lot of overlap for our nominations, because there's just a handful of things worth talking about and then a bunch of bullshit, in my opinion. And that, of course, not good, Bob. Not good. Give me your nominations.
All right. First and 100% Gauntlet 2 co-op. Like, I have good memories of this as a kid, but I know I didn't play it all the way through and beat it by any stretch.
Well, it's got like a million levels. So,
and I don't remember like when I picked it up. It might have been like a garage sale or thrift store kind of pickup at the end of the era, and I'm like playing it, but I can only play it with my little brother who's like 5 years younger than me.
Fucking incompetent.
Or it's or maybe I can't remember who, but like. I remember playing it and having fun, but like being limited time. Maybe a rented situation, so I can definitely do that. And then second, G.I. Joe. Checking out some G.I. Joe action there. And then third, I mean, I had many options here. I thought about throwing out Truxton. I thought about...
It was in there. We didn't even mention it, but it's in that library.
Oh, yeah,
panel,
I saw it there. I thought about throwing out some Solstice, but... Then I decided on Jackie Chan. Action Kung Fu.
You motherfucker, you keep tossing that in there. I can't believe you put that in there over Mega Man 3. That's wild.
Oh, and Mega Man 3. What am I thinking about? I completely forgot. There's so much, like you said, like those obviously the things that we've seen multiple times before. But I could absolutely play Mega Man again. Like, yeah, of course I could.
Well, yeah, I also had 4, 3 of which were How good are we at this? Like, I totally predicted it. 3 of my 4 overlap with yours. So
nice.
I didn't pick Jackie Chan, of course.
That was more the fun one I threw. I just left it on there from the last.
Musha is mine. My
Musha,
wild card, yeah.
Musha.
So, yeah, I loved that. I really would like to play it. Same with G.I. Joe. We have to have some heater coverage of G.I. Joe coming in Nintendo Power next month. So we'll talk about that again very soon. I'm not scared about leaving that to wither on the vine per se a little bit. Same with Mega Man, not going anywhere probably.
Yeah.
And we have done Mega Man 2, so it's not like we haven't given that franchise any love at all. Like I said, yeah, I was going to talk about Gauntlet 2 for that reason. Anyways, the fact that you have it as well, like that we have this kind of like fucking
like a specific
outside, outside incentive to do it, and I think that's a fun. Also, that celebration, I think, falls in line with what we're trying to do here with this 100th episode shit. You know, it won't be our 100th episode; it'll be our 101st. But it is also a celebration of doing 100 episodes. I think to bring in a lore disciple and play some fucking 4-player co-op action. That's a super fun idea. You know, again, God willing, that we can make it fucking happen on Parsec. So that's interesting, and I think that's a reason to do that. And we didn't do Gauntlet 1 either, and that is a franchise that probably deserves to have some love on the topic of giving franchises love. So I think that makes a lot of sense, and I support doing that if you do. So want to roll with that?
Let's roll.
Fucking A. Okay, so that will be Gauntlet 2. Will be our next game for our next normal game app. But we are not going to do a normal game up next. First, we are going to do a 100th episode bonanza on Ode to the NES, A Bobo's Big Adventure. And abobosbigadventure.com is where you can download that from and check it out before we drop our take on it. It's I actually didn't realize this. I have downloaded it. So it's not, I thought it was a ROM. It's not a ROM. It's a Flash game, you know. You still play, I mean, it maps to your NES controller. You play it just the same. But it's not actually in an emulator, rather. It's a standalone thing. You just, open in Windows. So that's it makes it even easier, maybe. Yeah. So we will play that next, and then we will play our Gauntlet 2 jam session before we get back to, I think it's going straight back to any the Nintendo side. Sega's AWOL until April, maybe?
Summer, spring?
Yeah, April, I think. So we'll do the March 91 issue of Nintendo Power after that. So, full understanding of our calendar coming up in the next few months here. And we're probably due to start talking about
Fantasy Star.
Timeline for the third episode of Fantasy Star. I was thinking maybe early July for that. So that's what's happening. In the meantime, you can subscribe to the pod on the platform provided, whatever dumbest company that serves up your pottery. Please rate and leave positive shit for the pod on whatever platform you do listen to us on if you enjoy our nonsense. Website is nyehentertainment.com/ISOH-pod. You can email us directly at isohpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to get in early on the sign-up sheet for Gauntlet 2, 4-player action, and follow the pod and banter with us on the Facebook page, Instagram, and subreddit, and talk shit to us about our gameplay videos on the YouTube. The links to all those will be in the show notes. We don't have a Patreon, but if you'd like giving money to things the podcasters tell you to, you might do so in our direction. The Able Gamers Foundation creates custom gaming rigs for gamers with disabilities, and that is cool as fuck. AbleGamers.org is where you can find them. T-shirts on the website. They're dope, and proceeds on those that are pod expenses go to Able Gamers. I'm rocking one of the staple ones right now. Jay, what are your socials?
Gentleman JB without the second E. That's where you can find me, on all the places. That's my gamer tag. This game.
I am on Instagram at MyShipKeyIsBroke. I'm on Twitter at Josh Folan. And my Oculus game tag is MyShipKeyIsBroke. Also, if you want to try to get me to break my fucking hand or something in my living room in Blacktop Hoops VR. Okay, bye!